Welcome to our podcast show. We will be face to face with a historical figure from beyond the veil. Tonight we're uncovering how our guest became a turning point in the human story. For the next 10 minutes, we will reflect on the Echo's history. Tonight we speak with an icon that reshaped our history. A woman whose quiet defiance sparked a movement. Rosa Parks, often called the mother of the civil rights movement, was more than a passenger on a bus. She was a passenger on history, steering it toward justice. Through her own words and reflections, we'll explore her courage, her faith, and the lasting meaning of that day in Montgomery. Here is a timeline of the main events in the life of Rosa Parks. Turn the pages of history and invite Rosa Parks to our studio. She sparked the Montgomery Bus Boycott when the seasoned activist defied segregation laws by refusing to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger. Her defiance cemented her role as an icon of the civil rights movement. While she was portrayed as simply a tired seamstress, Rosa Parks was a veteran activist, tired not from work but from the systemic injustice of segregation. We are honored to have with us an icon of justice and courage.
Thank you for inviting me from here.
What were you feeling when you refused to give up your seat?
I was tired, but not of walking. I was tired of giving in. That day, I felt a quiet resolve. I knew I had the right to dignity, and I was ready to claim it.
Some say your act was spontaneous. Was it?
No, it was deliberate. I had been an activist for years. I knew the risks, but I also knew the injustice. My feet weren't the issue, my spirit was.
What did the bus represent to you?
It was a symbol of everyday humiliation. Every ride was a reminder that we were seen as less. That day, I decided to challenge that symbol, not with anger, but with stillness.
How did fear play into your decision?
Fear was present, yes, but courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act anyway. I was afraid of what might happen, but more afraid of what would happen if we stayed silent.
What role did faith play in your journey?
Faith was my foundation. I believed that God did not intend for people to be oppressed. My quiet strength came from prayer, from knowing I was part of something greater.
What did you think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when you first met him?
He was young, but wise beyond his years. He spoke with conviction and compassion. I saw in him a leader who could carry the weight of our hopes.
What was the hardest part of the Montgomery Bus Boycott?
The threats, the loss of work, the strain on families. But the hardest part was knowing how long the road ahead would be. Change is slow, and justice demands endurance.
You've been called a hero. How do you feel about that?
I never saw myself that way. I was one of many. The real heroes are those who marched, who organized, who endured. I simply did what I believed was right.
What advice would you give to young people fighting injustice today?
Stand firm, know your worth, and never underestimate the power of quiet conviction. You don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes sitting still speaks volumes.
What do you hope your legacy will be?
That I helped awaken a sense of dignity. That I reminded people that one act, one refusal can ripple through history. I hope my story inspires others to stand or sit for what's right.
Though you and Raymond didn't have children of your own, you dedicated much of your later life to young people. What did you hope to teach them?
Raymond and I weren't blessed with children, but I considered all young people my children in a way. Some young people didn't understand what their grandparents had fought for. That's why teaching history was so important to me. Every generation faces its own challenges and must find its own way to resist injustice. I wanted young people to have self-respect, to know their worth, to refuse to accept anything less than full equality. And I wanted them to understand that change is possible when ordinary people find the courage to act.
Did you ever forgive those who persecuted you, the bus driver, the police who arrested you, the people who threatened you?
That's a difficult question. Forgiveness is complex. I didn't carry hatred in my heart. Hatred would have destroyed me, not them. I tried to see people who perpetuated segregation as trapped in a system taught from childhood to believe lies about race. Many of them were acting out of ignorance and fear, not pure evil. In that sense, I pity them. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what happened. The pain was real, the injustice was real, and I never minimized that. I never heard an apology from James Blake, the bus driver. Some people asked me over the years if I forgave him, and I said I held no animosity, but I also didn't absolve him of responsibility. True reconciliation requires acknowledgement of wrong and a commitment to change.
You graced us with your presence, and we couldn't be more thankful.
Courage means standing up for what is right, even when you're the only one standing or sitting there. It's not about anger or pride, it's about love for yourself and for others. Courage means believing that your small action can open the door for great change. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my reflections on a page of our history that deserves to be remembered by future generations.
Rosa Parks once said, "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear." Tonight, we felt that clarity. Her courage was quiet, but her impact was thunderous. May we carry her grace into our own resistance, with dignity, with faith, and with strength. Rosa Parks wrote a memorable page in our history. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep seeking truth, keep seeking light, and peace be with you. Our podcast continues beyond this moment. Shall we turn the next page together?